Hi, wishing you all a very happy new year. And on that note, I want to share a healthy, wholesome, and nutritious recipe or meal combination with you all today. I'm going to show you all how to make Bassaru and Palya. This is a typical home style rustic Karnataka based meal, and I love how planned forward this whole meal is. Obviously, the traditional way of eating it is with ragi mudde and a drizzle of ghee, but we enjoyed it with rice and it was top notch. Needless to say, this is a regular in my house. I have no idea why I took so long to record the recipe and share it with you all. But well, here we are, and the process is pretty much straightforward. This meal has two dishes. One is the saru. We are going to use the stock in which we cook the black-eyed peas, the dill leaves and spinach together to make our basaru or the saru. And then there is the palya, for which we will use the cooked black-eyed beans and spinach combination. Once the pressure cooking is done, we wait for the pressure to release, and in the meantime we make a spice paste for the basaru. This has garlic, onions, tomatoes, coriander seeds. You can think of it as a Tamil Nadu style equivalent for rasam. And the flavor, oh my god, is so amazing. I think this was the time when I was mind blown by the fact that something as simple as saru can be so good when made the right way. And I also know of some people, typically in the villages, where they roast the garlic and the onions over a fire and then they grind it. It's the rustic way of making it. Do not have access to an open flame in Germany, so I just added some oil to a pan and then roasted all the ingredients till they were completely done. I allowed them to cool and then I blended them to a super smooth puree. Also, when I was doing the blending, I added some tamarind paste, some jaggery, obviously adjusted the salt, added about 3/4 of a cup of water and then blended everything to a super smooth puree. So this and the stock that we use to cook the lentils and the spinach, everything together, will be the base for our basaru. Before I go on to the other nitty-gritty of this particular recipe, I also want to tell you all that cooking black-eyed peas in a pressure cooker can be a little tricky. In case you have an older batch of black-eyed peas or black-eyed beans in your pantry, then I recommend that you soak them for about 20 minutes in hot water and then proceed to pressure cooking. Another thing that is worth remembering over here is not to overcook the mixture. We want the beans to hold their shape because eventually they're going to get made into a stir fry. And it's the stock that we will be using to make the saru. Coming back to the spinach part, today I'm using frozen spinach because it's easily available for me. But if you happen to live in India, or if you can source amaranth leaves or sirukirei or any locally available, locally grown green leafy vegetables, it works beautifully in this recipe. However, I will not recommend methi, obviously because it's bitter. I also know of variations where they use vegetables like ridge gourd or cabbage to make basaru and palya, and they are also equally splendid. However, this happens to be my favorite. And yes, in case you're wondering, or if you want to ask, the dill is a little non-negotiable for me, but of course I understand if you cannot source it, then feel free to skip the dill and use fresh cilantro in its stead. So that's it. The pressure cooking is now done. The pressure has also released. I open the pressure cooker and you can see the stock around the beans. You can also see that the beans are holding their shape, but they're completely cooked. I'm going to strain this now using a colander. At this point, it got really messy. I was not able to handle the heat, so I had to transfer the whole process into my sink, and that's the stock that I got. So I used about 5 cups of water to cook the whole mixture. You can find the complete recipe with the water measurements and everything on my blog. In case you all don't know, it's www.tomatoblues.com. So once I strained the mixture, I removed about 2 to 3 tablespoons of the cooked beans and spinach and mashed it like this using a fork. So this helps add consistency and body to the basaru. We'll set that aside. I'm using my Dutch oven to make the basaru. I recommend a heavy bottomed deep pan. You'll understand why in a couple of seconds. So I added some coconut oil. Once the oil heated through, in went some mustard seeds, and after they crackled, in went cumin, curry leaves, a couple of dried red chilies, the ground spice paste, also the mashed black-eyed beans and spinach mixture that we did, along with the stock. So this mixture splutters, which is why I recommend using a deep pan like a Dutch oven, or a trusted deep pressure cooker will also do its job beautifully over here. And the pressing need to rinse my blender and add everything to the rasam is something that I just cannot explain. I also find it a brilliant way to minimize wastage. And tell me if you're like me, like you have to clean the stove as soon as there is something, as soon as there are some splutters. Otherwise, it just drives you crazy. Tell me in the comments about it. So while this is getting done, we're going to simmer this basically on low heat till the mixture begins to froth up on the surface. While this happens, let's make the palya. Before I began the sauteing process for the palya, I made the ground coconut paste. I added no water to it, and I'm using fresh coconut. Obviously, I buy frozen fresh coconut and thaw it. But if you're in India, the land of coconuts, then it's all great. So I added the coconuts along with green chilies to a blender. Lots of fresh coriander because they add so much flavor and depth to the stir fry. Some cumin seeds, a knob of ginger, and then I ground all this without adding any water. This is like a coarse paste, and this is a multi-purpose coriander coconut paste that I love to use in so many South Indian curries that I make. For example, this goes well with green plantains, that is barakai, or with eggplants. Superb. So that's that. Now let's get started on the palya. I'm using peanut oil over here today to make my palya, but you can also use coconut oil or any neutral flavored vegetable oil. The tempering process is pretty much simple, pretty much like any South Indian poriyal or stir fry that you will come across. Add some mustard. When the mustard pops, you add whole white urad dal, dried red chilies, curry leaves, give everything a mix. I love the dal to turn a beautiful golden color. Then I'm adding some chopped onions today. This is optional but highly recommended. Once I added the onions, I let them become soft and turn a bit glassy. Once it was done, I added the strained black-eyed peas and spinach mixture, combined everything well, adjusted my salt because I felt I needed a dash more of salt. Finally, I added the ground coconut cilantro paste, combined everything well, reduced my heat to a low and continued to cook the mixture until it became almost dry and all the flavors came together beautifully. If you see, this is like a standard format for any South Indian stir fry, and it's pretty easy to make. You could serve this with chapatis or with rice. You could also enjoy it as a salad on its own, but the classic way of eating it, like I mentioned in the beginning, is with some ragi mudde, basaru and kal palya. Again, I have added all the variations and the possible tweaks and everything to my blog post. In case you are interested in reading the complete written recipe, then do head to my blog, and I'm sure it is worth reading and worth saving. Also, to end the video, I want to add that you shouldn't be actually boiling your basaru. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it is supposed to become frothy on the top, and once it becomes frothy on the top, finish with a lot of cilantro. That is what takes it up a notch. I will see you all in another video. Till then, take care and bye bye.